Hello, everybody. Gage says it's empty. Let's go see what's in the fridge today.
Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. I do appreciate it. Today's beer comes from Four Quarters Brewing. These guys are up in Vermont. This is their Space Force, which is an Imperial or a double IPA. This thing comes in at 8%. It was sent to me by Brother Greg, and he writes, got a couple of these in a trade on 1019 with a friend that owns a craft beer store. No date, but it's fairly fresh. I do like this brewery. Well, his friend owns a craft beer store, and he got it at that store and sent it to Greg, and it has no date. That is a problem, guys. That is a serious problem in my book. Uh, Nothing on the can. I don't see anything at all. If they're distributing these beers to beer stores, got to have a date. That'll cost them a grade point. Uh, don't see anything else on his notes. He says no date, but it's fairly fresh, and he does like the brewery. I've had some Four Quarter stuff sent to me before, and they seem to be very tasty. But I mean, if you're distributing these styles of beers, you absolutely have to have a date on your cans. Now, a lot of the breweries that's brewery only release still do the dating on their cans. Some do, some don't. I'm a big fan of knowing how old the beer is. So if this actually went to the beer store, like Greg is telling me, that is a serious no-no in my book, not having a date on it. If it was available here and I went in, didn't have a date on it, it would sit on the shelf. I would not buy it. Let's run over to Untappd, see if there's any additional information. The commercial description says the double IPA that trumps all other double IPAs. Imagine that. We'll see about that. Brewed and dry hop with Galaxy, Comet, and Magnum. So that's a big, bold statement saying it trumps all other double IPAs. That'd be a hard statement to make, especially not having a date on your freaking can. I seriously doubt that statement. I really do. Unless this really blows my hair back or my socks off, I would not agree with that statement. It would have to be super impressive to me for me to agree with that statement. Trumps all other double IPAs. I just can't buy it. I just can't buy that. So we're about to find out, though. Oh yeah, oh yeah. So let me get this out of the way. We've talked about everything. I don't have the IBUs, guys, because a lot of times, depending on the hopping method, that is basically irrelevant. So it is time. Big 16-ounce can. Let's get it opened up and get it into the glass and see what we got. They're pretty impressed with their beers, and it's fairly clear coming out. Doesn't look like a New England style beer, so another reason I would say probably not going to trump all of the beers, but I'm going to reserve that judgment, guys. Didn't get it all in there. There's another swallow left in the can, about a finger and a half of beer. Looks like it has a chill haze on it, guys. It is definitely not in the New England style, which a lot of people fuss at me and say, oh, if it's not a New England style, you're not going to like it. Not necessarily. I do love that style, and I'm a big fan of that style. Now that I have had so many of beers from Trillium Treehouse and so many others that do that style, I find the flavor and aromas are just off the chain most of the time on those beers. For the regular whether you're going to call this a West Coast style or an East Coast style or whatever style you're going to, it just doesn't live up to that hop taste and flavor that I love. Once upon a time, before I had any of those, I mean, when I got a Stone Enjoy by, I mean, it just blew me away. But now that I've had the New England style, those beers don't blow me away anymore. I mean, I try to grade it on the category that it's in. If it's not a New England style beer, I try to be as honest as I can. But they're lacking aroma and taste to me. So it is what it is, and I'll probably get called out on carpet again and again. But it is what it is, guys. Let's get it to the nose. It smells like an East Coast style to me, guys. I'm getting a little bit of citrusy notes there, a little bit of floral, herbal, earthy hops, a little bit of tangerine and oranges in there. But I wouldn't even call this a West Coast style. Of course, these guys are, you know, not on the West Coast, so I don't know what they're intending this beer to be, if it's what they wanted when they canned it. But using Galaxy, which is a Southern Hemisphere hop, Covenant and Magnum. That's why they're pronouncing M-A-G-A-N-U-M. Not Magnum, Magnum. So hops are a little subdued. I'll just be straight up honest with you. It is. Let's taste it, see what we got. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Greg. Decent beer. I mean, decent. I would consider this more of an East Coast style. I will tell you this, though. There is a very faint, very small amount of butterscotch in this beer, which tells me diacetyl. But it's not overpowering. It's not, I wouldn't call it infected. I just think there is a small hint of some diacetyl in there with that butterscotch being there, especially in this style. You really have to look for it to find that in there, but it is subdued, but it's there. I can pick up on it because I know. You really get it on the back end of the palate once you do the tiny bits of butterscotch in there. Well, let's throw the back end pour in there. I don't think it's going to change the appearance any. And like I said, most definitely this is not in the New England style. And if his friend owns a craft beer store, it has no date, that's a no-no in my book. So, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to sip on this. It's right out of the fridge. And we'll come back and see where it ends up. Definitely not a West Coast. Definitely not a New England style. Tastes more like a East Coast to me. Hops are a little on the subdued side. And this ever so slight hint of a little bit of diacetyl in it. But it's not off-putting. It's very drinkable. Let's find out where it ends up here in just a second. Alright, guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. Okay beer. Decent beer, guys. For the style that it is in, not a New England style, not a West Coast style. To me, like I said earlier, tastes like a East Coast style. More floral, herbal, earthy hop, which is kind of strange considering the hop they've used. I definitely know what tastes I should be getting from the Galaxy, but the Common and the Magnum hops, I'm not so familiar with, not used either one of those hops in brewing my beers. So getting a little bit of the earthy spiciness, but from the Galaxy hops, but kind of subdued to me, guys. If I'd never had a New England style, it might be a little more impressive to me, but for what it is, it's a decent beer, guys. I'm gonna give it an A-. That's where I'm gonna put it. 90 in my scale. Over to Beer Advocate, they have it at 4.02. Also A- from them. And for our final check-in, we'll go over to Untapped. Untapped has it at 4.01. Also A- from them. So, you know, it's unanimous. It's an A- beer. Final joke. Probably not something that I would purchase for myself if it was available here. But I do appreciate Greg picking it up and sending it to me, give me a chance to try it. As far as them saying, it blows other double IPAs away. That's a crock of shit. I'm just going to say it straight out. That's bullshit. Bullcrap. Horse hockey. Definitely not. Definitely not blowing any other double IPA away. Nada. No. Not going to buy that. But it is what it is. They can tout it. I'm sure they're very proud of it. And like I said, I do think it's an A beer, A-, and it's unanimous from all three of us here at Beer Advocate, right at Untapped, and me. It's an A- beer, guys. A nice transitional beer if you've never had a New England style and you want to try something in the East Coast style, which I think this fits in more than anything else. Decent beer. So, not going to mealy mouth it anymore. It's something you probably should try and make it up for yourself, because beer tastes are very subjective. What I may like, you may hate. What I may love, you may not. And what you may love, I may not. So, it may fit your bill to the T. It may be the best thing you've ever tasted. So, don't base it on what I say. Try it for yourself. And if you have tried it for yourself, let me know what you think. Until we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.